you can never be rich until you either become a business owner or an investor. So how do we begin to teach them? They may not even be able to do business because they need to still focus on ministry, but they could become investors. Exactly. So for me, those are, so I have that historical background of my father and how, financially he didn't give that example, that even some of my siblings also who were called and they have strong calling of God, everybody ran away. I also had strange, if I tell you some strange encounters I've had in my life, strange healing grace, word of knowledge, word of wisdom, but I had to understand that some of us can exhibit these things in the marketplace.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be in the four wall of the church.
That's the difference between church and kingdom.
Exactly. Exactly.
Church wants you to do everything inside, but kingdom is everywhere.
Exactly.
You can use word of knowledge to know what to do. You can use the English to touch people in the marketplace. And wow, that's amazing. So what your dad did not understand is what many pastors still don't understand. And
exactly.
That's what the right understanding of full-time ministry. Full-time ministry, as they have practiced it, is foolishness. But the real definition of is that ministry should be your primary assignment, but not your only assignment.
Very true.
Should be your primary assignment, but not your only assignment. So as a pastor, all pastors cannot be business people, but all pastors must be investors.
Investors,
all pastors
absolutely.
cannot be business people, but all pastors must be investors.
That some of these people could be circular, and that's part of what we're talking about. Your spiritual mentor may not even have one of my business mentor is Grant Cardone. His practice of Christianity is even different. He's a Scientologist, right? But I'm not going to him to learn how to, be a Christian. I already have my spiritual mentor for that. But I'm trying to learn how to do real estate from him. I'm trying to learn how to build wealth from him. And I can always do that because this is also part of the habits we Christians have formed. Do not conform with the world. Do not. And we twist this whole thing around. How will the wealth of the Gentiles come to you if you don't, trade in dark places? How? Some people, for example, were shocked. How can you be a Christian? You are doing business in Dubai. You are giving your money away in Dubai. I'm like, how are you? Who schooled you people?
Who did this to us?
Who schooled you? How will the wealth come? Okay, by staying in one place. And what's even funny with church people, they don't trade amongst themselves. They don't invest with themselves. So it's even different if they practice the Jewish habits, which is also one of those billionaire habits, which is that they trade amongst themselves. We don't even do that. You see this one and say, no, it's not, I don't trust him. We just go to church together, but don't trust him. That brother. So for me, the first habit is that we need to begin to have habits of building mentors, having mentors outside our spiritual calling, outside our spiritual fathers to guide us, on our pathway to building wealth. One of the habits as well that I feel that a lot of pastors need to start developing, and this is very, very important, is building the right relationship. I realize, and you mentioned it, that's why I said you should just author the book. I realized that what has been going on now is rich pastors are friends to rich pastors. Poor pastors are friends to poor pastors. And you see that level of disdain. You see that level of, don't mind them. They sold their soul to the devil. Rather than going to meet some of these people and say, how did you do it? What are the principles that you've practiced that has helped you to build wealth? There's just that division among even pastors. You see that it's like a class thing. There are this class and that class. Meanwhile, it shouldn't be. Only a fool throws away a winning ticket. You must understand that two things you can't afford to have, poverty and pride. If you are not yet wealthy as a pastor and one other pastor is doing well financially, go meet him and say, hey, can I learn? If I'm even afraid to meet somebody who is secular, at least there are people like Pastor Olumide Emmanuel who runs real estate business, has other business investments, and is also a full-time pastor. Funny enough, in your definition of full-time, it's a full-time because that's why you meet all the parameters. In their definition of full-time, you are full-time, right? So you have people like that you can move to, closer to, and talk to, and get guidance. That's even if you don't want to deal with carnal people like us. but there are people in the body who are even pastors who have demonstrated this. So build wealthy relationship. Because I mean, your average of 5 closest people to you. One more habit I will share today. I mean, we'll talk more in the book of other habits. Is the giving habits. So I realized that the only type of giving that most pastors talk about is, tithes, offering. A lot of them don't even talk about need to give to your parents, need to give to your community. And a lot of pastors themselves don't give, even though they preach that members should give. And the truth is that I'm here to say any wealthy man that is not a giver, whether they are Christians, whether they are Buddhists, whether they are atheists, there are some of the, and that's why it's unfair when the world looks at wealthy people as greedy people. It's because you don't understand the concept of capitalism. The concept is go and make the profit first. After you make it, you can dash everything out. And that's what even Jeff Bezos is doing now. Jeff Bezos has committed to give you all his wealth. That's what John D. Rockefeller did. That's what Andrew Carnegie did. The man who started the steel industry. John D. Rockefeller started most of the development in Manhattan and the oil and gas industry, became the first American billionaire. When you look at a lot of these great guys, they made the money first. And then in their latter years, they gave everything away. So it's that you don't even understand the concept of wealth creation when you think that rich people don't give. In fact, their biggest secret is that they are dangerous givers. But, and so we need pastors to understand that they need to build habits of giving themselves, not telling their members, personally giving to the poor, giving to the needy, and reaching out even more. So I will stop there,
That's amazing. So give us, what are examples of some billionaire pastors that have existed or that exist in history? So give us some examples so that we can know them and go and meet them to teach us.
Well, you are one of them. I started hearing about you in the early 2000s, and I remember there was even, I think, 2012 or 2013. One of the things you did, we've never met, but one of the things you did that just so gladdens my heart. I saw you hosting pastors for a breakfast in Transcorp Hilton, and it was free. I remember I was saying to somebody, I said, this is really what kingdom is about. It's not, because of course I do seminars, so I know what it costs. I even had, what brought me to Abuja there was a training, and I had negotiated the Transcorp Hilton venue. So see that you were doing, I was like, come on, right? This is what it's supposed to be, that you are supposed to even make money from investment and then put it into the kingdom and be able to help a lot of other people and pull as many people as you can. And so for me, it's your ability to have done business. Of course, you've had your hands burnt, and I mean, the story is out there for people to understand, but you've done businesses all manner, all over the world as well. You've also pastored very well, and you're successful at both. And I think you're one of the other persons I would recommend is Pastor Matthew Ashimolo. Absolutely, any day, anytime. In fact, I'm hoping that we do a master class with him on this subject. I hope you help us, help us bring him. But he's one of those people I admire so much. being that he's a pastor, and, very, very successful by every sense of pastoring. But he's a very, very wealthy man. He started real estate heavily in the UK. Now, Pastor Matthew is one of the biggest real estate developers in Nigeria. People don't know. He's doing it quietly, but, he's one of the biggest. Has a lot of, hundreds of acres in real estate and several other types of investment that he has done. And I think that's a very good role model that people can reach out to. He even has a money masterclass that he does, for people. Another person I recommend is Sam Adeyemi. I remember us discussing recently, you connected us both, and he was sharing how God was telling him that he gave, this generation of Pentecostal pastors, millions and hundreds of thousands of members, not to turn them to pastors. I was hearing this, the Reverend Sam was saying this, but to send them to literally kingdom spies, to send them out there, to just change the face of the world. But what have we done? We're turning everybody to become pastors. And then before you know it, people are beginning to manipulate and turn people to all manner of things. However, outside Nigeria, I won't stop, of course, by mentioning my own bishop, even though my bishop did not teach this, and I must admit that. But people who, if you can decode the ministry of Bishop David Oyedepo, you understand that that's a man who practices business at his core, when it comes to ministry. Now, he didn't teach it. You can go and ask him why. Okay. He didn't break that. He taught it in the dimension of ministry, the giving, the spiritual part. But in terms of the normal carnal part, as you people always call it, he didn't present that part.
The university is a ministry. The water company is a ministry. The bread factory the bakery is a ministry. The restaurant is a ministry. The publishing house is a ministry. The bank is a ministry. The fuel station is a ministry. It's kingdom business. It's all about the kingdom. Dominant engineering, 15,000 housing units is a ministry. It's all kingdom business.
I think one of the principles we've all learned, right? Fathers are mirrors, and their children are supposed to even perfect, a dimension that, that we think they've not done. In reality, we even agree that Bishop even tried compared to other pastors, and at least he, took the courage to even allow the church to do business. Some pastors will even tell you that the church cannot even have a business arm. That is a distraction. They will even tell you, so I think that, and that's why other people coming after Bishop are even able to be more expressive. But internationally, I want to, number one for me is Bishop T.D. Jakes. Recently I met Bishop, and right there, the person who introduced us at Potter's house was telling him, I've come to do some investment in the US. Right there, Bishop was pitching me right away, instantly. I'm also into real estate. And before I said Jack Robinson, connecting with my CEO, let's see what we can do together. Incidentally, I met, apparently he's also into suit business, only for me to meet the guy he partnered with for suits. So he doesn't make the suit. He partnered with the guy who made, because people now started disturbing him for, we love your suit. Partner with the guy. The guy, I think, sells his suit for about $800 thereabout. Bishop is able to sell his own for $5,000. Right? And create. So, that's a practical, he has 18 businesses. Pastor Victor Adeyemi was sharing with me the other day as well. And honestly, I must also confess that some of the kingdom people also scared some of us. I remember the first time I met Reverend Victor, I had several questions to ask him. And the first question was asking me that, hey, I have a question for you. I need to be my business mentor. In fact, the first like all of that, like you guys are. So, and he was being genuine that, look, I met T.D. Jakes. He told me he has 18 businesses. He asked me how many I have. I said, nothing. But we have gone so far that we can't see our fathers in faith or our mentors as people we can come and say, okay, there's this. I mean, because, so I feel this book, I hope, can bring some kind of, balance for everybody to know that there's nothing wrong for you to help your pastor to see some of the business opportunity and don't see him as, it's my daddy. You can't teach my daddy. My daddy, the Lord. I will stop there, by the way.
Okay, so maybe finally, what will be your, what are the lifestyle of billionaire avid pastors? What are the kind of networks they keep, and what should people be expecting with reference to this book, timelines, so that people can start getting themselves ready?
Beautiful question. So the book will be dedicated on my birthday, 28th of January. So for me, every of my birthday, I didn't put on the AC, I want to put it on. So every of my birthday, I always launch a book. As we do the book launch. It also serves as fundraising for my charity. We do a lot of scholarship. Every year we try to send almost 1,000 kids to school. So a lot of what comes in from books and all of that, we always put it back into charity for our organization. So it will be launched by then. But for the book, we're hoping we have a master class. Like this is going to be part of the masterclass. So it's not just going to be your regular book. As I get in the book, all the interaction, we have several pastors we're engaging. We'll be doing a lot of this Q&A together with those pastors. And that will become a masterclass that comes with the book. Also, we are hoping that the book will come with a program that we can execute in some churches, where we can come in and do like a 3-day, for leaders, particularly for churches who have leaders, because a lot of these things has to be rewired. Nowadays, we have a lot of churches who have branches. They have over 1,000 branches. They have 100 branches. So it's not just the lead pastor knowing it, because some of these things, what I've realized that a lot of the lead pastors now have gotten it, particularly in recent times. Unfortunately, it's difficult for them to even be able to now teach it, because it's almost like against what they've taught for over 20 years, right? So, but they can always use people like us as scapegoats. We come in, I think you said you had that experience somewhere in Ghana as well.
Yeah. But Ghana is a regular for me. They will bring me to come and do it. I went to one church. The overseer brought me in, and he called me, say, one of our fathers, people that when we were on campus, these are the people we drank from. The day he called me, I was shaking on the phone like this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said he wants me to come and teach on, that he's bringing all his pastors that should just be free, that because they have learned a lot of things from my book. That was in 2008, because I released Pathway to Wealth in 2007. So he called me to say he has just finished reading the book, that this full-time thing. So I went there, day one, I hit it. The man was just looking. So when we got to the hotel, the protocol guys from the pastor said, man of God, that this message you are preaching, they will invite you here again, that this message you are preaching is contrary to what Papa is teaching us, contrary to what Baba is teaching us, that this message, So I just laughed. I said, no problem, it is where they didn't know that he's the one that sent me to come and do it. So the second day, third day, by the end of the third day, he now came out to say, well, many of you may have been wondering, but in the last 3 days, I needed this man to come and do the job because God has raised him to help us. So from now, so that we can make adjustments and all those stuff. I went to Ghana too when Archbishop Dr. Willis invited me. I was there. He had to tell me to be coming every quarter. So I was going every 3 months, 4 days, 5 days, everything, just to be, because the focus was prayer, deliverance, and he said he needed to help people understand. And if you go to action now, real estate, restaurant, bank, all kinds of stuff. So we've seen that happen. So it's very, very important for people to know that we are not fighting each other. But according to that which every joint supplies. Everybody, we all need each other. And if we all work together and everybody bring their own part, then we'll have the full gospel.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and you're very right with this. We hope that this will be a major catalyst to helping, and I think it also has in itself the ingredients to quell this anti-tithe, anti-giving, because if we make the right adjustment, first of all, members can know where pastors' money is coming from. Members can now know that our pastor is an investor. I mean, none of your members in your church, for example, will be wondering, why is our pastor living a big life? Why is it? They know you do business. So it's not a case of is our offering, is our money, is our tithe, even when that's not the case. I know many pastors who don't even touch tithe and offering, but yet people have that perception because, of course, their pastor looks like they're living larger than they are. And they're trying to transfer their own irresponsibility, financial responsibility, as and holding their pastor as the one responsible. But hopefully, with this move, people now can see, oh, I know what to do. Like you always teach with the 90%, I'm building wealth. I don't have problem. When people started talking about don't give, don't, I came out and I did my own video and I told everyone, I believe in tithing. Giving. I remember my decision to empty my account after a 21-day prayer and fasting as a seed to Bishop Oyedepo. How much was it years ago? 25,000. Right? I dropped it on Sunday. Monday, I got a call, to do something 30 million. The highest we had ever done before that time was 500,000, 1 million, highest single transaction. Now an invoice for 30 million. I thought it was a joke. Tuesday, they paid. If I did freeze my account that year, GT Bank, because the account has never received that kind of money. They had to ask me to come and explain. So that's a raw, and it's not as if I had that client before that time. I dropped the seed, Monday, call, Tuesday, money enter. So I believe strongly in the place of, tithe, prophet offering, and all of those things. But also was the fact that I was a businessman. I had where the channel for God to release that blessing. Yeah. I had, which many of our members don't do. They don't have any channel, and they just keep going to church every day, as if it's some adrenaline that they need to drink. And God help us.
It is well. Well, like I've always said over and over again, you are either in the secret cult or you are in the secret place. These things are secret because the Bible calls it hidden riches of secret places, treasures of darkness. So when people don't understand, they begin to argue. You cannot become successful without giving. And for those that follow me, I tell them the 4 secret code of my life is dangerous prayer. Wow. Dangerous holiness, dangerous giving, and dangerous investments. Dangerous prayer, dangerous holiness, dangerous giving, and dangerous investment. And these are the 4 master keys that has helped me in my own journey. So anyone that does not believe in giving, you are just plain foolish, because whether you are born again or not, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, atheist, giving is living. No one can ever become successful without giving. They can call it charity, they can call it CSR, they can call it generosity, whatever name. Giving is living. If you are not a giver, you're just deceiving yourself, you're not going anywhere. So I pray that God will help us to all align, and I'm trusting God as this book comes out, a new generation of kingdom ambassadors. We are right to go forward, represent God in the marketplace, shining the light in the marketplace. So I think,
thank you so much, sir. We're grateful. Thank you. We hope I've mentioned the dates now because you are the one forwarding the book. I hope you are penning it down. It's 28th of January. So we hope we'll have you there, and
we'll work something on 28th of January. Okay, yes. I'll be in Ghana, but let's see how far it goes. Let's see. We can do far from Ghana. Let's see how far it goes.
We want physical. Let's see how we work it out. We have to work something out. Okay. Any final word you need to be in the forward, because we're extracting your forward from this.
Well, you see, you can learn everything, hear everything, but it is what you do that matters. So 1,000 good intentions are not as powerful as one action. So for everything they're going to learn from the book, for everything they're going to learn from the master classes, make sure that you give attention to that intention by acting upon it. The word of God declares that whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continued therein, he being not a forgetful hearer but a doer, shall be blessed. The journey of 1,000 miles does not begin with a step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step that is taken. So if you don't take that step, the journey has not begun. So take the step and begin the journey, and we'll see you on the other side of wealth.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. I was grateful. God bless you. Have a wonderful
God
day.
bless you. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Bye-bye, everyone. So you can go and order the book. The team will pin this on. I'm not sure. Let me see whether I have the website so you can pre-order the book even before it's out. And for those who are pre-ordering the book, you are the one that will be getting the masterclass for free. Okay, for other people, they will have to pay for the masterclass extra. And obviously, that would probably be almost $100. So you can get the opportunity today. So we're going to be pinning the website for you to go and pre-order the book ahead of time. Love you all. God bless you. Bye-bye. Good morning.